Best five. I expect to have another best five update or finalised. I'm just tossing a few different ways at the moment. By about 4:30 p.m. Maybe slightly later, but that's the time I'm looking at the moment. Okay, all right. More than. Okay, so I've added Pakenham Race 1 to Live Trader. I don't like the way that best fives come together and looking at the moment. Not that I don't like it, but it's just not enough bullets to fire at the moment. The bulls aren't good enough. That's why I look at it. I'm still going to toss that around in the air for another half an hour. Live Trader runs through till the end of Ascot and Pakenham either way. Read the form around Pakenham Race 1. Meladesh, I think it should win here. Its trial win over Paradise. Its jump out win over Paradise Star and Albanian Bay was very good. They put a big margin to fourth. Yes, it was given a strong hand ride to get the best of them, but it picked them up quickly, went past them, was clearly superior. The second's a great yardstick. The third's a good yardstick. The margin to fourth confirms it. First up was beaten by a good one in Melidia. A couple of things went wrong that day. Should improve second up. Gets a perfect trip here. And the other one is Captain Link, resuming its debut win over Shinkwi was very good when it made all at Cranbourne. The recent trial third to Electric Tommy says it's ready to come back like that in the same sort of vein of form. Got to trust that Greg Urels hasn't booked Craig Williams for a holiday or for a picnic. He's here for a reason. Every chance he could make all. There's not a lot of speed on the front end. That suits Captain Link. They fight it out. I was going to back Captain Link to place as well at 3.1, but I just don't want to do that with only 2 place dividends. All right, I've added Scone Race 8 to Live Trader, Upwardly Mobile and Arambies. Look, Upwardly Mobile does look very upwardly mobile. I didn't plan to say that. That just came together because of how impressed I was by its most recent trial win over Lizzie's Jam, the way it picked it up, and they put a margin on the rest. That tells me the Scone win over 1,300 on the 2nd of August in Super Maiden was true. Because that was on a heavy track and you just had to query whether it was just a wet tracker. But the way it picked them up in that most recent Scone trial was very good. And Sports Winker's first time here, which is really important. I think it should be hard to beat. And the only danger is the 12 Arambies, to sort youngster. Out of form last 3 on its best, first up, it can figure here. I don't see how they beat Upwardly Mobile. But I've got to save on Arambies as well. Only the gate beats Upwardly Mobile, but the pace scenario is in our favour. I'm considering whether launching best 5 there. Furthermore to the best 5 announcement, we've still got 3 races to look at Ascot and 3 to look at Pakenham as well to finish off the card. Like we know 3 of the 5. There's another 2 opportunities there. And even if we only end up with 3 for the 5, our job's to win. And every bet that goes out on best 5 fits a certain criteria. And that's the first one. There's more to come. It's fucking winning consistently. And anything that... The reason I paused during that last message is because I don't want people to be sitting here second-guessing my decision-making. Like, putting 1 out initially is something I've had under consideration for the last couple of weeks. And I've always worried about, what are people going to think? I know what's the best 5 bet. I know it looks like a fucking best 5 bet. I know how much advantage we need to have. And if they get released 1, 3, or 5 at a time, it's the same process. It's about hitting that 40% strike rate, 38%, 35% strike rate consistently. That's going to give us a long-term winning edge. I know some of you are sitting there going, you just got fucking 20 losers in a row. Do not give a fuck. It's about what I do week to week, month to month. Yes, I'm going to have a losing week. Trust the process. So when I release 1 at a time, there's a reason for it. I'm only going to say that once. Trust the process, punters. You're going to see a lot more of it. It's the way I've run services like wing banker bets and shit like that for years. Best 5 needs to be adaptable so we're getting the best 5 bets each day. Bad Detective should have went in yesterday when it was 2.30. The thing that we had that won at 2.90 for Live Trader, first race of the day yesterday, should have went in. We didn't press the button on them because we were worried about what we had later on in the day if that was stronger. We can't be sitting there thinking like that. Best 5 is about bets that qualify for best 5. On a Saturday when we've got 90 black bookers and the cold factor's 18, if we end up with 10 best 5 bets, it doesn't matter which 5 they are, those 5 should get us a long-term profit at the advantage we think we've got across all best 5 bets. I'm not ranting, I'm just trying to explain the mythology and the method, and call it the method to the madness if you want, but I'm explaining to you how my head thinks and what best 5 is as a product and what it encapsulates. The one other point I do want to make regarding that, the other factor that stopped me from making this decision earlier is that I've always been concerned about rushing to get that video out so that it's up on the socials and everything like that, so everyone can see it. That's fucking irrelevant. What's important is winning. Everything can come after that. I just also want to reiterate as well, I'm not sitting here saying I'm flipping best 5 on its head and every bet's going to come out individually, but I've seen too many days pass by recently where we haven't gone because we've only had 3 or something like that. And I'm going to use Monday last week as a classic example. Like, there were 4 best 5 bets there. I had 1, Melbourne guy had 3. He had a 2-1 winner and a 9.0 winner. We should have went. We only had 4. We didn't go. We then went 4 days. We pushed to go Tuesday, went none from 5, and it ended up a fucking domino effect across the whole week. We can't let that happen. We have to go when we've got the advantage. Some days there's only going to be 2. On a Monday and a Tuesday, instead of trying to push to get 5 when there's only 2 meetings on, if we find 2 across it, if we find 2 at the start of the day across those 2 meetings and we finished them, they go out. If we find 5, they go out. Most days, the 5 are going to go out at once, but there are going to be certain situations like today and other days that I'm going to push a button and go 1, 2, and 2, or 1, 1, 3, or 1, 3, 1, or 1, 2. And 2 of the 3 win and there's nothing left for the day and we call quits there, But it needs to be adaptable. I'm always going to try to follow that base rule of sending as many as a time as and manage betting that Seraphim made earlier on from the B phone. Now you can see why I've started to research that option, because there are certain punters out there that don't have the time, that like the martingale, set and forget, 5 legs or whatever. That's why we need to be adaptable, okay, all right? Because I want to introduce these other tools to help. Those are important, very important, but this is important too. But I need to speak what's on my mind when it's on my mind, so you know how I'm thinking, where I'm thinking, and it just gives you more context and more perspective, and I think it's important that you guys get that. You can make that call in 6 minutes at 50 minutes to go. Win bets for Rockhampton race 7 have been added. Sundara on top. Highly impressive last start. Sets a standard, won by a widening gap. Hard to fault the form out of the race. I think it's got the measure of the 2 co-favourites, Divine Purpose and Vienna Waits for You. Not co-favourites, the 2 favourites that are shorter than it. All 3 of them are in the market. They dominate it. The danger's the 3, Sir Grace, resuming from a spell by Turn Me Loose, slightly raced, 4 from 8 winner. Pedigree says it wants a bit further, but first couple of wins in its career, it did it on the front end, and they're pretty good despite one of them being on a heavy track. And if it gets the right trip here over 1,300 on a soft front end, which it probably is likely to be here, it might give them something to run down. I think it's been missed. It looks a danger, especially the first time lugging bit. Anyway, that's how I see Rockhampton race 7. I am considering making Sundara best 5. Just tossing up whether I have enough advantage or not.